Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about what I call a Red Sea moment that I had in my life. A Red Sea moment, just to give you an understanding of the Red Sea itself, or the Red Sea story in the Bible. It is found in Exodus, around about the 14th chapter. And you can just read it kind of for yourself if you like, but the Red Sea specifically, it's in Exodus 14 and 16. To give you a little background, back in the days of Pharaoh, the Israelites, or children of God, were enslaved. And the Egyptians had enslaved the children of Israel for about 400 years, almost 400 years. And God then called Moses to lead his people out of Egypt. Long story short, they're in the process of leaving Egypt, and it's around about 600,000 people that actually left Egypt that were enslaved Israelites. So now they're on their way going, fleeing from or leaving Egypt. And what happened is that Pharaoh gets a change of heart. And he makes a decision that what have I done? I've messed up. So I need to get these people back. So he started chasing after the Israelites that he had originally freed. All right, so what happens is they're now running. They're running. The Egyptians are chasing the Israelites. And the Israelites come up against now where they have the Red Sea in front of them and the army of Pharaoh's army behind them. But God delivered the children of Israel by opening the sea. Literally, he opened the sea, and the people crossed on dry land in the middle of the sea. And Pharaoh's army, which was bold, started going after them, and then God closed the sea on them, and all of them drowned. So now I hope you understand what I mean when I say a Red Sea moment, a rock and a hard place, or a place where you are caught and cannot go anywhere. And you only have, for me, God to depend upon. In 2019, I was found in this place financially. I had no one to depend upon. I had no options. Due to my circumstances, I couldn't work. I couldn't gain employment, and at that point, I only had $1,200 a month for income, bottom line, nothing more, nothing less. Again, I couldn't depend on anyone. I had zero savings. I had no credit cards, no stocks or bonds to pull from. I had nothing. And my mortgage was $1,500. My car payments was almost $600, forgetting about utilities and other expenses, food and those kinds of things that I needed. I did not know what to do. Due to being financially strapped, I got behind in my car payment. And I live in an area where you must have a car. So losing my car was not an option for me. What happened was I made arrangements with my car loan folks, and I needed to pay 2 payments of close to $900. And again, I will repeat, I only had $1,200 a month, period. And I could not do anything else. I could not go to anyone. I could not depend on anyone. I couldn't ask anyone for anything. The only person that I could go to at that point in time in my life was God. Only God. Up to that point, I had had many different miracles, or various miracles in my life. But this was a time where I needed a miracle, a right now or in your face kind of miracle, because the addition and the subtraction didn't add up, and there was no way, or nothing that I could do to change the situation or the circumstances. Of course, as you realize that I'm telling you this particular testimony because God came through. Now you may ask me, how did God come through? And this is the problem. I can't tell you how. I don't know what I did. I don't know, change that. I don't know what he did to change the situation. I didn't get a big check. I didn't get change anything different. My money still was the same. I still had the same responsibilities. I still had the debts that I needed to pay, and I still made the money I needed to make. Nothing changed, but God did it. It put me in the mind of when he fed the crowd of 5,000, and he only had two fish and two what 4 5 loaves of bread. So that it was that kind of a moment for me. I don't know how God did it. I don't know what he did. I do know though that I made those payments. I didn't lose my car. In fact, now my car is paid off. I did not lose that car. I was still able to make my expenses, but I cannot tell you how. I must give glory to God for that miracle for me. And I was literally, or figuratively, I will say, change that. I was figuratively in a Red Sea moment. But God came through. I'm beginning to understand. I don't know everything, and there's nowhere close to any of everything I know. But one of the things that I'm beginning to understand is that God sometimes puts us in situations where we only have him to depend upon. We don't think that that's God's way maybe in some situations, but that's exactly what he does. He puts himself in our situation where we can only depend on him. We can't look to anyone else, and he has to be the one to come through for us, because if he doesn't come through, we won't make it. That's his glory. That's what happens when we give him what he's responsible for, his glory. And he is the one that made the change. He's the one that did the miracle for me. That's just one of so many miracles I can tell you about, but that was the one that was on my mind to tell you today. And I will just say this as I close this video. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel, because God will come through. You may not be able to see it. You may not be able to think about it. You may not be able to lean to your own understanding of it, but God will. He is just as factual as these trees behind me. They are real, and so is God. Take care, and thank you for listening. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe and like the videos. Take care.